Goblet Exchange and their native commemorative sauce, what I like about the commemorative, what I do not. Let's talk about it. Of course though, if you guys could please subscribe to my channel, like the vids. When I post them, I make crypto and fiscal vids, whether that be news captions or just opinions. I really want to do this full-time someday, but I'll need your support, so please subscribe, please. Like if I am ever going to have a chance to do that. So Saucer Exchange is the first balconies erected on Hedera. I am bullish on Hedera as a network, which if you guys formally know that if you watch any of my other stuff, so let me start with what I do like about this specific design. There is a lot in respects to that, and also some of my enterprises with a design like this. This is of course not fiscal advice, all of this is my particular opinion, and I want to hear your own studies down below, whether you agree with me or not, so please note that down below in the comments section. So let's start with stuff that I do like. We'll start with the tokenomics. It's presently trading around 2 cents. It has a maximum force of 1 billion token ends. When you look at what the number 1 and number 2 dexes on other networks have hit in respects to request cap in former bull requests, there is a lot to be agitated about looking at a design like this. They do, and they will have competition. There is formerly Healy Exchange, which is launched on Hedera. There is Leftman Exchange, they are also in there contending in the space, and there is presumably more than that. And at the end of the day, though, if you agree that grounded off of everything that you've seen, it looks like they're presumably going to be the number 1 balconies if I had to put my plutocrat on one, but let's say not. They are the number 2 balconies. I mean, there is still a lot of implicit if you're holding this commemorative, or if you are accumulating it in the bear request. There is a lot to be agitated about as in it. Owed if you compare it to other networks, and if you agree with me that Hedera is going to be a huge player in the space going forward. I like that it's beforehand in this design. It's ranking on coin request cap. You hear people say they suppose they are beforehand on systems getting in the systems in the 50s or in the hundreds. This is ranked number 4,914 on coin request cap. So if you're trying to be beforehand on a coin, this clearly qualifies for that. You see, and not indeed find it on TradingView. If you're trying to chart the price action, they've commodity on their website on a SaucerSwap finance that you can use, but you cannot find it on TradingView at the moment. So yes, it's beforehand. I mean, in respects to that, and another content on that, they didn't take venture capital money. There is no raptorial venture capital money in this protocol from what I understand, if I am not incorrect. There was a seed round, so they did have a seed round for investors. It looks like a lot of people that I wasn't involved in that full exposure, but it looks like a lot of people that were involved in that were people from the community. And if I am not incorrect, correct me, a lot of you guys presumably know this, correct me in the comments section down below. I believe that seed round that it was valued at 8 per sauce. I believe that is correct. If I am incorrect, drop it down in the comment section below as noted. I'm not one of those people, but it's like I said, it's presently trading at 23. So did they get better prices than it's right now? Yes. Is it? You compare it to, well, let's get on that content, since we are on the content as much as I like HBAR and Hedera. As a network, let's be honest, SAFT investors have smelled a lot of price action out from the coin in the last bull request. It's not that it was, if you just go from the bear request to the request cycle top, it's not that it was a horrible performing coin when you compare it to other systems, but let's just keep it real, guys. The SAS investors, they wrecked us. And you are gonna find that in a lot of other design, if not specifically staffed investors, just people that we'll just call them smart plutocrat, smart plutocrat that behind the scenes got by much before and they're playing that cycle, man. It's like you accumulate in the bear request, or if you are like an early seed or SAFT invest, and also you use the bull request as exit liquidity. So unfortunately, I am not saying that there is nothing like that going on with this design. I cannot specifically say that, but I do know that one of their proposition values to the request is that, hey, what you just endured with SAS investors, we do not have that going on. Then there are, like I said, there was a seed round, I believe it was 8, but outside of that, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that you should see a lot lower of that with this coin. But also, let's be honest, man, this isn't investing in crypto and all this stuff. This isn't this platoon. Game everyone wants to talk about community, and I agree, community is amazing and stuff, but let's keep it real, man. This isn't a platoon sport, investing in cryptocurrency. It's not a platoon sport. Not everyone's going to win, so it's really like you got to stick around in the bear request. If you're not one of these seed investors or SAFT investors or whatever, you got to accumulate good systems in the bear request and also make good opinions, and they are in the bull request. So luckily we are in a bear request now, as long as you agree that there's going to be a bull request. Now it's the time to get your positions and some good stuff. But I'm sorry I went on a digression there for a little bit. Let's keep going for further stuff. How about just the network it's erecting on in Hedera? I like that it's the first to request. So it's the first balconies. I like the overall theme the stoner just experienced. If you go on the website, it's clean. It works, no bone. Had any huge issues, you will find some stuff, some small issues. But I suppose a lot of that is to be anticipated. But there hasn't been any, from what I understand, anything crazy if you look at the just the vibe from people that are using it utmost. People like the design, so that is really good to see the UA back to the overall theme. It has nearly like that meme eventuality of a design. Not to say this is a meme coin, because there is obviously mileage to it, but I like that the whole alien kind of that is, I can click with crypto people specifically, so I like the overall theme with it. They are getting ready to roll out single-sided staking, which is going to have a great AP. So I like that a lot. I suppose that is going to attract a lot of people to the token. And also, last thing, that the hookups that they have partnered with what I suppose is the stylish portmanteau in the ecosystem and Hashpeak. They can gauge along with Hashpack, and they are doing the in-portmanteau barters for Hashback. So in my opinion, there's a lot going on with this design. There is a lot that I like about this coin long-term. Now, on the other side, let's talk about what I do not like. And I would say the biggest thing is just the future of DEXs in general, and specifically in the United States, and how they are going to treat DEXs going forward. A lot of rumors out there that there is some bad actors in this space that are trying to polarize all deals, that being crypto in the United States. We do not know how successful that is going to be. When regulation does come out, we do not know how DEXs are going to be treated, and they cannot inescapably control DEXs. That is kind of the whole point of it, and crypto is bigger than the United States. But there could be commodity coming down the pipe that makes DEXs, not lose all their value, but could be a lot less seductive depending on how the United States decides to treat it. I'm not saying that is 100 going to be, but I would just say that the future of DeFi is unclear at the moment, specifically in the INU. So it does give me break a bit, and it does make me, suppose a little bit about putting too important plutocrat, that I have to invest into DEXs just because of the unclear regulation and how they're going to treat DEXs not going forward in the future, and also incipiently. I do not mean this, negatively, or I do not mean this is a shot to the platoon, specifically at Goblet Exchange. Everything that I've heard from them, the UO, the AMAs, and all the exploration tea I have done on these guys, they feel solid. They feel like they are in this for the right reasons. They are from the Hedera community. At least the maturity of them, and a lot of great systems have started like this with, some guys getting together, or guys and girls, and saying, hey, let's go make this on this network that we like, which is stupendous. My only thing is when you are talking DeFi music, the biggest thing you have to be concerned about are hacks and Jew. Disastrous events, and that stuff happens in crypto. We see it all the time. And a chance it's not just, in DeFi or decentralized stuff. It happens and centralized, so we have seen as well. So there is threat far and wide that you go in cryptocurrency. But let's be honest, DeFi specifically has been a target of a lot of hacks and a lot of, disastrous events. You just wonder how important of this whole thing, or the platoon and the people involved, like how important. And of this, are they kind of planning it and they are figuring out on the fly? And not just them. I would say everyone, whether that be Hashpack or any of the other holdalls, or any of the other DEXs, or not indeed just on Hedera. I'm just talking about just in general, like how safe are they from a black swan kind of event, or things happening that they don't realize until it happens, and then it takes one, mistake or problem in your protocol or a vulnerability. And, there's things that you can do to mitigate that. You can be audited, which, if I'm not mistaken, these guys have gone through all that whole process. You can have bug bounty programs, so there's stuff that you can do to help mitigate that risk. But at the end of the day, there's, we've seen, you see the headlines out there. So those are things I think about, and I think there's investors everyone's got to look at all the different angles. So overall conclusion, there's a ton I like about this project, and the stuff, I like it, far outweighs my concerns about the project. This is all not financial advice, I would say. Don't go all in on anything at all. Even if you look at this and you're like, everything sounds great, and you're like, I know this is going to work out. You have this gut feeling. I would tell you, don't trust your gut feeling all the time. I would say, if you like the project, take positions in it, allocate a percentage of your portfolio, but you got to protect yourself from black swan events And I'm not saying that a black swan event is going to happen on this protocol, or any of the other ones, but you have to protect yourself from stuff like that. So these are just some thoughts I have. What do you guys think? Drop down the comment section, guys. I will check everybody out in the next video. Thanks.